Many thanks for, of course, choosing to be with us this particular morning here on K24. This is the new dawn on a day that, or rather following a day that we saw a very shocking move by the acting Inspector General of Police. In fact, let me rephrase that. The convicted acting Inspector General of Police, Gilbert Masengeli. Now, we all know that Masengeli was sentenced to 6 months in prison on Friday by Judge Lawrence Mugambi. Now, only 2 days later, the convicted acting police IG did decide to withdraw the security detail of the said judge. Now, that particular move did cause a lot of uproar yesterday, and late into the night, the National Police Service, or rather the IG through the National Police Service, released a statement. And the IG said the 2 police officers assigned to Judge Lawrence Mugambi had been recalled to attend VIP courses. We're used to such such circuses of, using lame excuses to try and justify a move that is seen as intimidating the judiciary. Now, CJ Martha Koome yesterday said, whatever happened will not intimidate the judiciary, and the judiciary will continue to play its role independently, of course. Now, just for context, Gilbert Masengeli was sentenced to 6 of Jagi, who's sentencing afterwards. Get from or start from being a convict acting police IG to being Well, apologies for that technical hitch, but like I was saying, the move has been termed as a punitive measure that represents a direct assault on the independence of the judiciary. That was a statement by the Chief Justice, that is Martha Koome, who issued a statement yesterday after that particular move by the police boss. The question is, what happens next? Because the acting police boss says the only people who are entitled to, security details are the president, his deputy, and the retired president. And the rest are subject to, work on rotational basis, and in fact, they can be recalled at any particular time. And in this particular case, he says the security detail attached to Judge Lawrence Mugambi were recalled to attend VIP training courses. Now, apart from that, of course, like I said, we'll be talking about that later on in this particular show as we talk matters state of the nation. But at this particular moment in time, I just want us to have a look at what's making headlines in the news this particular morning. And remember, you can watch this show live across our social media platforms at K24 Tv. Do let us know what you make of the actions of acting police boss Gilbert Masengeli was found guilty of contempt of court and sentenced to 6 months in prison, moving to withdraw the security detail of the same judge who issued the ruling against the sentence against him. Now, let's start our bulletin, and Chief Justice Martha Koome has strongly castigated the National Police Service for withdrawing the security detail of Judge Lawrence Mugambi. The actions are coming just 2 days after the judge in a landmark ruling sentenced the police boss to a 6-month jail term for contempt of court. The Judicial Service Commission is terming the National Police Service's latest move as an affront to judicial independence and retaliatory move from the police following Judge Lawrence Mugambi's ruling. Martin Opio reports on the latest tiff from the judiciary, now pitting them against the police.
In a strongly worded press conference, Chief Justice Martha Koome, who walked down the famous stairs of the Supreme Court, did not mince her words. The CJ going in hard on the National Police Service following the decision to withdraw the security detail of Judge Lawrence Mugambi, terming the move as a ploy to intimidate the judiciary.
The act of withdrawing the security of a sitting judge following a judicial decision that displeased certain authorities is deeply concerning. It sends a cheering message to the judiciary and indeed to the public at large, that those entrusted with upholding justice and safeguarding our rights can be intimidated, that judges can be bullied or retaliated against for their rulings.
After delivering his sentence on Friday that saw Acting Inspector General of Police handed a 6-month jail term, over the weekend, his security details are said to have been withdrawn. Actions that the Judicial Service Commission is now calling retaliatory action from the police.
Any benefits or conditions of service related to a judge's position, including their security, must not be varied to their disadvantage, particularly in retaliation for the lawful execution of their judicial duties. Security for judges is an accrued benefit that cannot be withdrawn whimsically.
Koome says that the new developments will not by any chance cow the judiciary into submission by any arm of the government.
The security of a judge are tools of trade. They are not just given by the IG. They are given by the Constitution. It is a process that goes through Judicial Service Commission and SRC, and they cannot wake up one morning and just withdraw. Therefore, we are appealing to them to restore the security of Justice Lawrence Mugambi.
Judge Mugambi, after running out of patience with Masengeli defiance, instructed that Interior CS Kithure Kindiki ensures that the order was complied with. Masengeli was to make an appearance to explain the whereabouts of activist Bob Njagi, brothers Aslam Longton and Jamil Longton, and for a record 7 times, the acting IG failed to heed to the calls.
It is crucial to remember that Judicial independence is not a privilege for judges. It is the cornerstone of justice for all citizens. Judges must be free to make decisions based solely on the law without fear of retribution or interference.
Judge Mugambe's driver, who is also a police officer, was also asked to surrender his firearm, was withdrawn and ordered to report back to police headquarters for instructions. Requests by JSC to get them back were not responded to.
Those two personnel were withdrawn yesterday. They were disarmed and withdrawn, told to report to their headquarters. All our efforts to get in touch with them to restore the personnel to Justice Mugambe were unresponded to. But because we work together under NCAJ, we all serve Kenyans. All the arms of government function together for the service of Kenyans. We continue to talk to them and tell them to restore immediately.
LSK has also condemned the police service for their recent actions.
When the 7 days expire, that was given to the Inspector General to redeem himself. But we are surprised that he did not grab that chance, or he doesn't intend to grab that chance. In any case, he has proceeded to withdraw the security of a judge of a superior court. This has never happened before. It's the first time this is happening to a judge, at least under this government. And it's very important, and we want to remind officers who are actually serving us in different government institutions that compliance with court orders is not a favor you're doing, but it's the oath of office that you took.
The National Churches Council of Kenya, NCCK, in a protest letter to Interior CS Kithure Kindiki, has demanded that he intervenes and have the security detail of Justice Lawrence Mugambe reinstated immediately. The church body says the withdrawal of the judge's security amounts to intimidation of a judicial officer and serves to undermine the rule of law. In a statement, the senior council bar terms the police action as illegal, terming it as unjustified, vengeful measure and abuse of the rule of law. This comes at a time when a push and pull between the executive and the judiciary have escalated following rulings made against the state. In recent days, their rulings have rubbed state the wrong way, and now going in the fray is the National Police Service, who have been working hand in hand with the judiciary in the undertakings. Martin Opio, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Now, Energy CS Opio Wandai has admitted that indeed Adani Energy Group and other energy solutions submitted a proposal to develop key transmission lines and substations in the country. Wandai noted that the only way to sort out the challenges witnessed in the energy sector amid frequent power outages in the country is to incorporate private firms.
Adani Conglomerate, a group that has made headlines in recent weeks, is now confirmed to be involved in Kenya's energy sector through its subsidiary Adani Energy Solutions, with negotiations still ongoing between the firm, K24, and the Ministry of Energy. According to Energy CS Opio Wandai, the firm, among others, submitted a proposal to help in developing key transmission lines in the country, and with the government facing a financing deficit of $5 billion involving the private sector through the public-private partnership was the way to go.
Our fiscal space for taking on new loans has become increasingly limited. If structured properly, PPPs allow us to achieve value for money.
In what looked like a spirited fight to defend the Indian firm, Wandai was quick to note that the group had a stellar portfolio of installing transmission networks.
Adani Energy Solutions Limited have cumulative transmission network of about 21,000 circuit kilometers of power transmission lines and some 61,000 MVA transformation capacity.
The Adani proposal, which includes the construction of 2 lines and a substation in Rongai, is at the draft project agreement stage, which includes approval of projects and a financial risk assessment report prepared by the negotiating team. Clearance of the draft project agreement by the Attorney General and notification of award to the cabinet by the contracting authority. The newly appointed Energy CS was however adamant that the ministry will follow the law in engaging with the firms, insisting that due diligence will be fully conducted.
The PPP Directorate is required, in coordination with the contracting authority, to undertake due diligence on the private party. Towards this end, an evaluation committee was constituted a while back, drawing its membership from the PPP Directorate and the contracting authority.
Adani has been on the headlines over its involvement with the Kenya government over the JKIA deal, with millions of Kenyans raising concerns over the decision of the Kenyan government to involve the Indian firm in running the iconic facility. According to the Public-Private Partnership Directorate, 10 projects are being considered under the privately initiated proposals.
Three private firms have expressed interest to develop this transmission line through PIPs. 2 of them have already reached the negotiation stage, and 1 of them is still at the proposal stage.
However, KETRACO maintains that it is yet to sign any agreements with the said firms. Its managing director, Engineer John Mativo, seemingly confident that if the deal sees the light of day, with its rich portfolio, Adani Energy Solutions could play a crucial role despite the saga surrounding the parent firm over the running of operations at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport.
The energy solution itself has a strong portfolio both inside and outside Bangladesh and other countries. So we are confident that if we meet those 2 things, first, get the project at the best cost, get the borrowing at the best cost, and ensure that the project agreement is done to the best interest of this country. Therefore, and what you have seen from the expertise, I'm only talking about the energy solution.
Ian Keitani, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Let's talk matters education, and a 129-strong member committee has been appointed by President William Ruto and will have 2 months to constitute a report that will streamline the much contested new university funding model that has led to an uproar from students. The National Working Committee will be spearheaded by Professor Japheth Misheni Ntiba and will be made up of 4 streams, each with its leadership. As Amelia Kisienya now reports, the composition of the members also includes university students.
And we are saying a big no with capital letters to the new funding model. The government is not listening.
In the recent weeks, this has been the order of the day.
Tunataka kutumia the old model.
Students and lecturers contesting the much pushed for new funding model in the universities. The new funding model has come under critical scrutiny, making education more expensive and disadvantaging students from poor background.
There's been cases, legitimate cases.
And buying to the pressure was President William Ruto, who, despite several attempts to convince varsity students of the efficacy of the new funding model, fell on deaf ears. And to address this stalemate, the head of state, through a gazette notice, has appointed a strong 129-member committee. The committee, which comprises members from different fields such as WASU Secretary General Constantine Wasonga, as well as university students, will see Professor Japheth Misheni Ntiba sit at its helm in chairmanship capacity. The National Working Committee will compose of 4 work streams, each with its own leadership, and will be assigned different tasks accordingly. The composition include the work stream to review the university funding model, the work stream on appeals arising from categorization of students, work stream on structure of student loans, and work stream to review cost of academic programs. Parts of the reviews to be looked into by the work streams include to review the efficacy of the new funding model, to evaluate the effectiveness of the means testing instrument for students' categorization, to establish the potential of the new funding model, to analyze and recommend the cost of university programs, and to review the structure of students' loans. Meanwhile, the National Committee has 2 months to consolidate a report, and the same presented to President William Ruto through the Ministry of Education. Amelia Kisienya, K24 TV.
Now, President William Ruto has warned against individuals hijacking the planned cleanup program of the heavily polluted Nairobi River under the Climate Works initiative for selfish gains and scoring political points. The head of state, who met national government administration officers at the Kenya School of Government in Kabete, says his administration has an elaborate plan to lift the image of Nairobi and improve services. The meeting was also attended by a host of senior government officials, including Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who gave Ruto's functions on Sunday in Nyeri a wide berth.
At the Kenya School of Government in Kabete, the president arrived to the welcome of senior government officials, among them his deputy Rigathi Gachagua. The meeting brought together national government administration officers drawn from the capital, Nairobi, as the president moves to actualize the Climate Works initiative.
That I am going to work with the county and the entire leadership of Nairobi on making sure that we improve on the image of Nairobi.
Gachagua's absence at President Ruto's function in his home county of Nyeri on Sunday sparked speculations, but today the second in command sat side by side with his boss. In what appeared to be a thinly veiled attack directed at his deputy, Dr. Ruto has warned individuals against politicizing the Nairobi River cleanup exercise to score political points.
Isiingizwe siasa duni ya ukabila. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Isiingizwe siasa ati ni community fulani inataka kufukuzwa, si ni community fulani ndio inapangiwa. Hapana. Kuna mtu hapa ameambiwa ya kwamba aende apangie community yoyote. Nilipatia instructions hawa Kindiki na huyo Molo. Nikawaambia tufanye hii kazi kwa niaba ya Wakenya wote.
His Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki also echoed the president's word.
We urge that nobody should politicize or bring in other issues on the cleaning of Nairobi River. It is irreversible. It's a national security matter.
Mtu kama anataka siasa, aende atafute siasa, atafute sera. Tafuta sera ya kuuza kwa wananchi. Wacha ukabila. Hakuna mtu atabadilika hapa. Kenya sisi ni Wakenya. Na Nairobi ni mji ya Wakenya wote. This is a cosmopolitan city.
At the same time, the president read the riot act for those planning to hijack the program that intends to employ 20,000 youth from Nairobi to help restore the river.
Wakenya wakitaka kutafuta kitu kidogo, Mungu tu amesimama hapo, unajua mimi najulikana na fulani, mimi najua fulani, nitakupangia hii, nitakupangia ile, toa kitu. Please, nawaomba. Na nawaomba pia Wakenya. Na nawaomba pia vijana. Wewe kama unakubali kutoa pesa kwa huduma ya serikali ambayo wewe unajua haupaswi kutoa pesa, wewe uko na makosa zaidi ya yule na kuitisha pesa. We must stop this. And mtu akikuuliza pesa, please report them.
Environment Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale believes in his ambitious plan that Nairobi River can in 1 year have safe water for human consumption.
A river that has been turned into a sewage. In another 1 year, we must drink water, clean water. We must see blue water in Nairobi River.
On the sidelines of the Ngao meeting, Rigathi and Kindiki had a moment to exchange a word with two factions that pledge loyalty to the two leaders from Mount Kenya, currently at loggerheads on who should lead the mountain.
Nataka nikupongeze sana sana sana. Na nikuhisi ukipata nafasi vile PS Raymond Omolo amesema. This family wanaongea sana. Hii maneno sasa iko kila pahali. So there will be a lot of pressure from the other regions.
Timothy Simwa, K24 TV.
Well, thank you very much, Timothy Simwa. Of course, there has been a simmering row between the president and his deputy, and in regards to who was picked for the vast Mount Kenya region, we've seen at least 69 legislators from the Mount Kenya region saying they will throw their weight behind CS for Interior. That is Professor Kindiki Kithure, in what looks like a move to edge out the current DP, that is Rigathi Gachagua. Now, on that particular note, we're just done with what is making headlines in the news this particular morning. We'll be going on a short break, but before we go on a break, I'm already joined by my two panelists here in studio. Of course, Honorable Tom, very good morning to you. Thank you very much for...
Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much for making time as well. I'm joined by Dr. Mark Matuga. Very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
We'll be, of course, coming back to dissect what is making headlines in the local dailies this particular morning, as well as talk matters, state of the nation in a moment. That will be after this short breather. Don't go away.